In 1945, Menna was a young physiotherapist living in Chester, working with troops back from the front.
Some had limbs blown off, and the soldiers were, amazingly bright and hopeful, I think is the word.
There's a good reason for sprucing up. The Queen makes another of her welcome visits to some of the war wounded.
On May the 8th, she'd travelled to London to see her boyfriend. They emerged from a restaurant to scenes she had never seen before, she would never see again.
And suddenly there was this vast sea of faces. Everyone was happy. I can't tell you what the feeling was like. It was like being on a wave.
A sea of celebration, the end of war in Europe. But as Menna was swept along, two faces caught her eye.
And suddenly I thought, that's Princess Elizabeth and Princess Margaret. Could hardly believe it. They looked so happy. And you can imagine, I don't suppose they'd ever had a freedom like that, ever.
An hour later, the princesses had taken their place on the balcony of Buckingham Palace, back in the fold of the royal family. But for a brief moment, they'd each been one of the people.
It was joyous. Why? Because there would be no more bombs, there'd be no more dying, and now we can get on and live a normal life.
Normal life for Menna meant a return to hospital and a reprimand from her matron. She'd left for London without proper permission.
A slight reprimand, and as I left, I opened the door to go, and she said, I wish I'd been there. So sweet,
Jane McCubbin, BBC News.